Hi everyone, it's Carol with Carolbcrafts. Today we'll be making this adorable card. It is using the Joy to You and Yours stamp set, and this stamp set is included in the Simon Says Stamp 2022 December card kit. So this is a simple card. It's kind of a clean and simple card, and it will be easy to make multiples of if you are in a pinch and need to get your Christmas cards made. I'll be giving the dimensions as we go along, and you can also find them on my blog, www.carolbcrafts.com. So let's bring in our MISTI. I'll get it going in the right direction. Now, to keep things from sliding around, I have purchased some sticky grid sheets. I have one underneath my foam mat, and this is what it looks like. It's semi-sticky, it's removable sticky, and then I have one underneath my scrap paper here that I'll be needing because the ink overstamps the card. So hopefully that's going to Sizzix sticky grid sheets. It's going to keep things from sliding around so much. I know I'm getting kind of tired of having double stamping, so I decided to go ahead and get those sticky sheets, sticky grid sheets, just in case you're having similar problems with your stamping. So the first thing we're going to do is get a 4 by 5 1/4 Nina Solar White 80 pound. And then we're going to get our stamps. I'm going to use this beautiful flourish here of poinsettia, pine cone, pine needles. So I'm going to grab my cheat sheet and I'm going to put this where I practiced on this first before I made my card. So this is 3.5 inches from this edge right here, and this is 7/8 of an inch from the bottom. This fern-like thing right here, the tip of it is 7/8 of an inch from the bottom and 3.5 inches from this edge here. So then once I get that in place, I'm going to put this in the corner and pick that up. Oops, no. I messed it up. I'll just, where I've got it, I will pick it up here. Put it in the corner and try not to mess it up. It's sticky. And I'm going to pick that up. Okay. So now I know where that's going to stamp. I can put my 4 by 5 1/4 in place, and you know I'm just going to make sure that does not move. I'm going to put some removable tape, Scotch removable tape there. I've just been having bad luck lately, I guess, with things moving, so I am going to make sure everything stays peachy keen and hunky-dory in place. So here we go. Now I'll be making 2 cards so that you can see how you can make multiples of these relatively easy. So gently pull that up. This is a hybrid ink. This is Pine from Hero Arts. But you can use whatever like green that you have that you like if you don't have the Pine. And I think just one more will do. I'm really glad I taped that down because I don't want to have to keep doing this, especially if you have to do multiples. You don't want to have to keep doing multiples and multiples. And I'm going to do that part a little bit darker. I just really like it dark, dark, dark. Okay, so that is the first one. That looks really good. And now I'm going to pick that. I'll put my next one, my next 4 by 5 1/4 in place and ink that up. So you can see how if you had multiples, you could just do as many as you need. You don't have to keep moving your stamp. You do all of this stamp on all your cards, and then you'll move it and do the other side. Okay. It's a big stamp. It takes a little bit of doing to get it inked up good. Okay, so now we've got this one done. We're going to do the other side. So let me clean off my stamp using my Honest wipes. These are from Target. I think you can get them from Amazon as well. They're the 99% water. You don't want anything with alcohol or lanolin. It doesn't have any parabens, fragrance, alcohol, no chlorine processing. So it should be all right to use for your stamps. I hope so. I'm just going to dry that, make sure that's good and dry. Now we're ready to do the other side. And the other side, I can save this tape because I can use it again. The other side is just the other side of the stamp. So I'm going to pick my stamp up. Get my cheat sheet. So this time, so we used this half of the stamp, and now we're going to use this half of the stamp over here. And we want to make sure that we have this leaf is 2 3/8, and this is 2 1/8. So 2 1/8. And 2 3/8. So you could use just a template and mark these measurements so that you get it right, and then you don't have to worry. So now I'm going to, this time I'm going to put it down in this corner. Make sure it stays in place. Pick that up and get my paper. So this is going to go in the corner, and then just double check and make sure. And I'm going to tape this in place again. Make sure it's not in the way of my inking. And this time I'm going to do the corner. Gently pull it up. Like I said, I really want this to pop, so I'm probably going to do this 3 times. And that's another reason I want to use my, oh no, that's good. I want to use the tape to keep it in place, and also to use the sticky sheets between here and at the bottom, because we don't want any sliding around, any slip sliding around. So image goes in the corner. Tape that in place, ink that up. Okay, we're making progress here. So you can see now if you had more cards, all you'd have to do is just keep filling that up with a new card. Just keep doing however many you needed to do. Now we're going to do the inside, which is this here. And so we need another 4 by 5 1/4. They're both the same. The front and back are the same. So I've got my 4 by 5 1/4. Clean this stamp off because I'm going to have to reposition it. And this time I'm going to dry it this time. And then just make sure get as much of that ink off as possible. Okay, so now I'm going to, this is a horizontal landscape card, so I'm going to position this kind of at the bottom, and there's no right or wrong. You just put it where you want it, and I'm going to put it in the corner and pick that up. And I'm going to tape that down again. Let me see, where's a good place to tape it? Probably right here. Hopefully this tape is not too long. It's just a little too long. Let me get another piece. Not quite as long. So in the corner you stay. This time I'm going to ink up most of it across here. Whoa! I got fumble fingers today. So let's see. I'm going to stamp that. Now this could be lighter if you want. It doesn't have to pop like the front. Gently pull it up. It could be more like a watermark if you want. I'm just going to go for it and go for the pop. So let's see how I do. I'm so glad I taped that down and used my sticky grid sheets so I don't have tears from sliding. That's good enough. And then I'm going to do the other one, 4 by 5 1/4. Tape that down, ink this up. Okay, that's good enough. So that's all the stamping we're going to do with our flourish. And so pretty. Now we're going to stamp the sentiments. So let's put this back. I've learned my lesson about losing stamps. Don't get your stamp out till you are ready to use it. So the next one is going to be wishing you a joyful Christmas, and we're going to emboss that on the inside. So I'm going to bring in a piece of 4 by 6 window sheet landscape, and I'm going to place it so that I can slide this underneath the window sheet and line it up. So where is my stamp? Here it is. I don't know. Okay, so it's kind of down there in the corner, and I'm going to first stamp that with pine, and I guess I'll be able to see it. Okay, so first stamp that with pine, since Versamark is clear. So that's going to show me where it's going to stamp. Now when I slide this under, I can line that up. Wishing you a joyful Christmas. And then the other thing I'm going to do is grab a pencil and mark here in this corner. Try not to get it on your card. In this corner. Those are going to be my guides. So remove this. I'm going to take that down and clean this stamp off so that I can use my Versamark on it. I see I'm getting green. I'm going to have to clean that later. I'm getting green on my MISTI here. Make sure that's good and dry. And just to make sure. So now we're going to use our Versamark on our stamp to prepare it for our embossing. And there we go. And you can see it just ever so lightly. So that's that. Now this is where the marks come in. So don't touch that. And you know what? I didn't do what I know I should have done. I am going to find my marks, put this in those between those two pencil marks, the corners, so that I will stamp that where I want it. I'm going to bring in my powder tool, or you can use your embossing buddy or whatever you have. Just this is so that when you put the embossing powder on, it doesn't, the static doesn't cause it to stick. I should have done that to the first one, but usually when I'm on camera I forget things. So there's that one and that one. Okay, so let's do the embossing for this. Clean that off. Well, put this aside for now. Bring in my Ranger Super Fine Gold Embossing Powder. And I'm just going to sprinkle it on there. And it looks good. I might tap it some. Yep, that one looks good. Now I'm going to do this one. Yeah, you can tell this one I didn't use the embossing buddy or the powder tool. But it actually looks pretty good. All right, so wipe off my plastic. Put it away. I won't need that again. Put my excess away for now. I always cover this just in case. Okay, so now I'm bringing in my Sizzix heat tool. I'm going to put it on 2. Okay, so we have that. We have the wishing you a joyful Christmas. Very pretty. Now we're going to do these labels, Christmas greetings. I'm using the thick, let me grab it, thick Nina Solar White. This, I think it's 110 pound. It's 6.5 by 3.5. I'll bring this back in. I'm done with this stamp. I'm going to grab the Christmas greetings stamp. So this is if you want to do more than one. So I'm going to start here with my Christmas greetings. I'm going to put it here. Well, we're going to end up cutting that out. Okay, pick that up. I did tape that down as I want it to stay put. Versamark. And I'm just going to do one more just to make sure it gets good and inked. Maybe I don't need to, but I like to. So now we need two, so I'm going to take this and slide it over and see if that's in a good spot. And it is, so I'm going to tape that down. Ink that up with my Versamark. Clean this off. And set this aside. And again, I forgot to use my powder tool. So who knows what we're going to end up with. I am just so bad about that. I don't know. I don't know why. Again, some gold embossing powder from Ranger. Sometimes if you tap it, it helps. And let's see, I goofed up there. Let me do a couple. Okay, so we're ready to heat set that. Put the lid on it. Grab my heat tool again. All right. So what we're going to do is, if you were going to do more cards, you could actually do some on this side, stamp, stamp, and then emboss and heat emboss. That's the beauty of having a bigger piece of paper, but I'm just going to do the two for right now. I'm going to grab my scissors. I'm only going to do one on camera for you to see. I am cutting very close to that edge. I'm mostly cutting a rectangle to begin with and staying close to the gold. And then these little curls here. Now there are dies for this, but I didn't purchase them, so If you feel more comfortable using the die, you're welcome to do that. But this particular one is pretty easy to cut out. So okay, so now we're ready to put our card together. So I'm only going to do one on camera for you. So I have an 80 pound, and yes, it is 80 pound because I'm using a 110 pound panel on the front. That's going to give it enough sturdiness. 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Yay, 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 yay. And then we're going to grab, well, you know what we got to do some coloring. We have to do some coloring. R37, and I'm going to use my pointy brush tip, and I'm going to color in these, and I will not have you watch me color all of these berries. I will cut off the video and come back. How's that? Okay, so I'm done with the berries, and I colored these little berry buds there. I'm going to take some clear Wink of Stella brush, and I'm going to color just the big berries to give it a little sparkle. And you can do one coat and then come back and do a second coat if you want. Now on the inside, well, yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and do the berries on the inside. Why not? Okay, so there we go. Gives it a little sparkle. So this is going to go on the front of our card right here. And this was 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 pine from Hero Arts. And I don't want to use glue because I found if I use glue back here, it leaves kind of a watermark, just a very slight watermark. So you probably want to, if you use glue, do it in the corners. But I'm going to use some just tape runner. And we have 1/16 of an inch all around. Now I want this to pop up a little bit, not up off the paper, but I don't want it like glued flat either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some mini glue dots, and I'll just put one in each corner on the back. That gives it enough lift so that it doesn't look like it's flat against the paper. And these things are so sticky. It's going to go right about there. I'm hoping I'm getting this right. I guess there's really no right and wrong. What looks good to you and what is level. That's what's important. This is going to go on the front of our card. Now you could use glue now if you want, because it's not going to show through this dark cardstock. And I got a little here on the edge. There we go. Make sure it's opening the correct way. This is a very simple, clean looking card. I don't think it would be too hard to make multiples of. Hopefully you feel the same way about it. I think it's just a pretty simple card. It will mail flat. It won't need any extra postage. And it's pretty. Now you could add some more bling to it if you wanted. But I just like it like this. And then of course on the inside we will, again, I'm not going to use the glue. I'm going to just put this on the inside. Plenty of room to sign your name. Wishing you a joyful Christmas. Okay. So there is our card. Hopefully I inspired you to create something special with your kit. The links are in my description, and to purchase the kit or to subscribe. And you can also find the dimensions and that information on my website, www.carolbcrafts.com. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.